Is this you? Hello? No, I can talk. No, it's fine. Really? Oh my god. And this... I should read a little bit in my favorite book. You know, just to get some inspiration. Just one more chapter. I should read Game of Thrones. And maybe even this. Oh, what was that word again? I'll just quickly look it up on the internet. Cat videos. If you clicked on this video, you're probably behind on NaNoWriMo, whether it's because you found a new series that you like, or you just procrastinated, or the story isn't going well, or maybe you had a lot of schoolwork. I mean, there are a lot of legitimate reasons why you could be falling behind on NaNoWriMo right now. That isn't really your fault. And maybe some of you are thinking about giving up on NaNoWriMo because you're 10,000 or 20,000 words behind and you're never gonna catch up. At least not without a miracle, so if you're not gonna win, why bother anyway, right? Well, I'm here to tell you that I'm behind on NaNoWriMo myself. While I'm filming this, I'm about 10,000 words behind and I'm probably never gonna catch up. I might have an amazing writing day and write 10,000 words in a day. It has happened to some people, not to me, but some people, so it is possible. The reason why I'm behind on NaNoWriMo this year isn't because of procrastination, maybe tiny bit, but mostly I have pretty poor health. And I was really ill at the beginning of November, and I got new medication during the first week of November, which made me really sleepy, really dizzy and nauseous, and I didn't feel well. And honestly, I was just happy if I wrote anything at all during this month. And I am proud to say that no matter how bad I felt, I wrote every single day except for one when I got the meds the first time, because I think I slept the whole day when I got those. But sometimes it was 200 words and sometimes it was 1,000 words, sometimes it was even more than 2,000 words. But as long as I try my best to write every single day in November, I'm happy and I'm gonna consider myself a winner. And I think that you should too. If you think that you tried your best, or even if you think that you didn't try your best, but you're gonna try your best, start it now. So after this video, you're gonna turn off YouTube and you're just gonna go to your page and you're gonna write. Just write. Then you should consider yourself winners, because personally I've written about 20,000 words now, a little bit more, but about 20,000 words. And I can tell you with 100% guarantee that if it wasn't for NaNoWriMo, I would have written absolutely nothing, or at the most 1,000 words. If I had a good day and then felt like writing, I probably would have written 0 words. So that's 20,000 words more than I would have written without NaNoWriMo. And I think that's amazing. And I think that everyone who committed to writing a story, who created a new world, who created characters, who really tried their best, I think that we're all winners. And I know that some people say that's something a loser would say, but I think we won. Because there are a lot of people who want to do NaNoWriMo, or want to write a novel, or just write anything, and they never do it because they're too afraid. And you did. You started it. So give yourselves a round of applause. You deserve it. Now here are a few tips that I have if you do procrastinate a lot and to try and write more for the remainder of the month. These are things that have helped with me in the past, and some of them I need to do myself. So the first tip is obvious. Try to write every single day, even if it's just 10 words. If you tell yourself that you have to write at least 10 words every single day, it's not that daunting anymore, because 10 words, it's one sentence. Everyone can write one sentence. This is how I do it right now, and usually when I sit down, it's not going that well. I have around 200 words and I feel like, oh, maybe I should quit, but I just stick with it a little bit longer. It helps if you take like half an hour, and say this is going to be my writing time. And you only have to write 10 words, but you can write more, of course. And usually when I just sit down and you get past the beginning, past the I can't write bit, and sometimes I end up with 2,000 words, and that's 2,000 words more. Another pretty obvious one is to turn off your internet. If you need to look up a word, see if you have a dictionary lying around, or just leave the word blank for a while and describe it and then look it up later, because the internet is like a black hole. It sucks everything in, and if you're on the internet, chances are that you're gonna check Facebook, you're gonna check your Tumblr, you're gonna check your Instagram, you're gonna check cat videos on YouTube, and well, eventually you won't have time for writing anymore. Also, don't be afraid to mess up. Don't be afraid to be terrible, absolutely terrible at your writing. If you are writing a scene and you're stuck, just write, and maybe you'll get a crazy amazing idea by just writing and seeing where it goes. You can always go back and edit it later. That's what December is for, and January and the rest of the year. You can go back and edit it and leave out scenes, change scenes. You can even change it halfway through if you're like, oh, I didn't like that scene, this one would be better. Then just write that scene and go from there. But leave all the words that you wrote previously, of course, because they count. Try to ignore your inner editor. I know this is really hard for some people, but try not to go back and edit things. Don't dwell too long on certain words and certain sentences. Of course, you don't want to write utter crap. I mean, there has to be something left to edit, but it doesn't have to be perfect. The main thing that you need to focus on now is to get the story on paper, to figure out what the story is from beginning to end, and what happens, and then you can always go back and make it more beautiful and add new scenes and maybe delete a character or add a character. There's a lot you can do in editing. Another thing that can really help is the buddy system on NaNoWriMo, because you can see what your friends or just people you met on the internet are doing, what their word count is, how well they're doing. But at a certain point, if you're really behind, it kind of loses purpose and it kind of switches, because you might be discouraged by how much further ahead they are than you, because some of my writing buddies have already finished and others are 20,000 words ahead of me, and after a while it just becomes a bit depressing to look at that. And if it does for you and if it discourages you, don't look at it. Just ignore the buddy system. And the same goes for updating your word count. If it really depresses you, you can always just not update it for like 5 days and then see how much you've written in those days and update it in one go, or go back and update it by day if it helps, so that you don't get discouraged and stop writing. Also, don't wait around for inspiration. There is no such thing as the perfect writing conditions. And if you wait around for inspiration, or if you wait around to feel like writing, you're probably gonna wait a really long time, especially if you're behind, because you probably don't feel like writing right now. But if you just take half an hour or an hour, it helps if you plan it out for some people. For other people, it doesn't. Just see where it goes, but make sure that you do write somewhere before you go to bed. Although some days I have written in bed when I realized that I hadn't written anything yet, and I just managed to write 1,000 words before I got to bed, but I wouldn't recommend it. And what some people forget is that you don't have to write in a linear fashion. You don't have to start at the beginning and end at the end. It's how most people do it, I think. It's how I do it. But if you're stuck and you do know it's going to happen at a later point in time, there's no reason why you can't skip ahead and start to write that and then go back and connect them all together. If you do it this way, you can even hide little things beforehand that will cleverly connect in a later scene, depending on what kind of novel you write. And at least you'll be writing, and you might get inspiration for the parts that you were stuck on. And my very last tip of this pretty long video, I think, is to have fun. Don't forget that you did this because you want to write a novel, and I hope you did it because you want to have fun writing that novel, even though it's, you know, it's tough to write 50,000 words in a month or 20,000 words in a month. It's just tough to write every day, to dedicate yourself to that. But it can also be a lot of fun, so take pride in what you do. Try to have fun and not take it too seriously, the whole winning part. And yeah, good luck with writing. If you have any other writing tips for the people who are watching this, or for me, please leave them down below in the comments. I'd love to hear them, and I'd love to hear how you're doing on NaNoWriMo. And as always, if you really like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos like this, then please subscribe. Good luck with writing, everyone, and I'll see you soon. Doei!